What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and I'm here today to talk about my beginner's guide for South Park: The Fractured Butthole. Now, this is going to kind of be talking about things that I think upon first-time players, people that are just jumping into South Park, would like to know. Just something to kind of like get you ready for the game. Now, I never played the Stick of Truth. Tyler did, so this is also my first South Park game. So this is coming from a person that's brand new into the franchise. So we're just going to talk about a few things. This does count for the giveaway. This is one of the videos we're going to be doing for South Park. So you have to leave a comment on one of these special videos. So we're going to be doing this, a couple other things in a review, and you have to leave a comment on this and the giveaway video to win the game. We're giving away the game if you didn't know already. So a couple things to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is the just getting as much stuff, literal stuff, as you can. There's a lot of looting to be done in South Park. There's many houses. Most of them are unlocked. And when you go into the houses, they all have a very similar structure. They're going to have like the living room, the kitchen. They'll always have like the door leading to the basement that you can't go down other than key houses. And then the upstairs, which will have 2, sometimes 3 rooms, as well as a bathroom. So you're going to want to go in every single room, in every single house, and that obviously will benefit you just by looting everything possible. The things that you can loot are going to have yellow handles, whether it be fridges or cabinets, or like baskets or anything, cupboards, anything that has yellow will be what you need to open. And these are going to give you just items that are either scrap. They can actually sometimes in different locations, and it's kind of randomized, they'll give you actual objects that you can use during fights. Like they'll give you like basically your health kit, but they do give you actual things, but they also just give you parts that eventually you can use to craft. And again, you could craft medical stuff, you can craft items you can use in combat to give yourself perks and or weaken the enemy. So it's very important that you get as much materials as you can, especially early. I found that I was doing a lot of things in a way out of order, kind of progressing faster than maybe the game wanted me to. That also goes with selfies. So the more selfies you take, you have to do that for a story mission early on, but the more you do, there's individual levels for many things in this game. You know, mastering the toilets, which we'll talk about, and taking as many selfies as you can. These level you up, and they give you new items in the game. So you're going to want to do that just anyway. The game will make you do it a little bit, but it's good to kind of get ahead of things, especially early on. You can't get ahead of it that much, but it is good to kind of just start there. Another thing is, again, with the toilets, mastering all of the toilets. And then, you know, they're fun-ish little mini games where you have to spin the analog sticks or hit a button repeatedly, but you need to be able to get all the toilets in the game in order to get a trophy, as well as, again, the more toilets you do, again, that is another kind of perk level up, that when you level up, you get new items. And again, you're gonna need this, because at the end of the day, these are all gonna help you out with combat, which is another thing I kind of want to talk about. Now, there's 3 main classes when you jump into the game, and it really just depends on your playing style. I chose more of the ranged approach, and that does kind of go into fighting. What's important to know with fighting is to know what you have at all times. Now, when you start the game, you're mainly going to be fighting by yourself. But very quickly on, actually, you're going to start getting more members. But it's important to know what you have. So you're going to have abilities, and eventually your teammates are going to have abilities. And you're going to just want to play, obviously, to your character. Now, again, I play ranged, so actually I don't need to be super close. I can kind of always stay 2 squares away from the enemy, even to just do my normal attack. And some of my other attacks actually push them back. Each move does something a little bit different, and again, each class is very different just in general. So it's going to be important that you fight the way that you're kind of supposed to. And when it comes to having your teammates, you're going to want to use them the way they're supposed to be used as well. So, you know, oftentimes healers, and you'll get a couple healers early on in the game. Now, when you get a lot of people on your team and you can swap them out, you're going to always want to keep at least 1 healer. But I recommend probably only 1. The healer has 1 attack and 2 healing power. So you're going to want to keep 1 of them just to kind of keep your guys safe, and you're going to want to, for the most part, keep them away from the fight. They're defenses that help you out can be kind of stretched out where they don't need to be necessarily that close to you. So you're going to want to protect them, but you're going to want to kind of diversify yourself. You are going to want to have some brawlers, like some people that can actually fight. And a thing to note, you're going to be able to reach your super whenever they hit you and you press X or A, you get a little bit more on the bar. And when you reach 100%, you're going to have your super. What's important to note is you do not carry that over from fight to fight. And I thought you did, actually. So like one fight was against one person, and I was waiting because I thought I would be able to use it immediately on a 4-person unit that was attacking me, and it turns out that's not the case. It resets. So you want, as soon as you get that 100%, you're going to want to use that special ability right away. I mean, it's going to obviously make the fight way less time consuming because you're going to immediately hurt them pretty badly. For the most part, you're going to mainly take them out completely. But again, it's important to note what you have, so being aware of that. You can use your kits, the health kits, and reviving people. You can use all that stuff from the materials that, again, you can craft or are just given to you if you search them out and you do enough stuff. And another thing to note is also just to keep in mind the environment and keep in mind lining yourself up maybe poorly, because again, like, if you hit them backwards and there's a person behind them, you do extra damage. So it's important to know, where they are and what's the environment like, but it can do the same thing to you. So you're going to want to be careful where you place your team during a fight, as well as how to get an edge on a fight. So they tell you early on, actually, in the game that, if you get the first hit, you get the first turn. So, it's kind of yours for the taking. If you can find a way to do damage to them early, definitely do that. Then there are ways, early on in the game, you'll find that there's a group of 6th graders and you can throw firecrackers and severely damage, or you can light the firecrackers on fire, I should say, and you can severely damage them. So when you go into the fight, at least one is pretty darn weak just to begin with. So what I'm basically saying is you need to take as many advantages in the game as you possibly can to start out. There are things there available to you to give you an edge in a fight as soon as you start. And like I said, initiating the fight is always better than being hit by the fight and then having the fight come to you. Other than that, that's pretty much it. It's a relatively straightforward game. You have to follow kind of in the path that they give you. They tell you when you can explore out. They tell you where the missions are. A lot of the things are pretty self-explanatory. I just wanted to give you guys a little heads up on those things. We'll be having more specials, maybe a tips and tricks or best class video. So we'll be doing more of this stuff very, very soon. So thank you guys for watching. If there's any beginner's guide items that I forgot about that you want to, tell people about, leave in the comments below. Again, you need to comment on one of these videos in order to win South Park: The Fractured Butthole. So make sure you do that if you haven't already. Subscribe to our channel, like and share the video, and I will see you guys on the next South Park video.